Do y'all take Comanche back with another episode of 36 ounces? And today I'm going to talk about my first time, my first real transactions, in the drug game, and how old I was, why I started, what made me not want to continue to do it at a young age, and a few things in between. I ain't going to hold you too long, but check this. My first time hustling, I was like 13 years old. But my first time, dealing with hard drugs, I was 14. When I was 14 years old, I asked my older brother to show me how to, sell dope, how to move dope, because he was a hustler. And I really looked up to him. I love my brother, man. He was that dude. He had all the women, and he's a pretty boy, but he could squabble, and he wasn't no punk. And he was a man, like, early on, so I looked up to him, and I wanted to be just like him up until that point. Up until that point, I asked him, I said, you'll show me how to do this? Basically so I could be safe in the streets, because I'm 14. I'm just entering high school. I want to get my own money. I want to do my own thing. And he told me, that's what you got a daddy for. I said, fuck. I said, yeah. I looked around. In my mind, I'm thinking, you're going to regret that shit. You're going to regret every fucking word of that. And I held a vendetta, and instead of trying to take it out on him, I learned that game myself, and I strategized like on some 48 laws of power shit. No lie, man. I took that pain that I was feeling from when he told me that shit, and I went and ran. I took the game and I ran with it. Man, I got me a crew. I started looking at the people around me on how they can benefit me. I'm like, I got homeboys who bullies. I'm not that big. They big in size, and people kind of intimidated by them. Let me make sure they always straight. Let me make sure they took care of them. I loved them, but all they wanted to do was fight. I wanted to make some money. I wanted to make some money because, well, first off, I was the type of child that I read a lot, so I was quiet, I was reserved, and I would always wait before I make a move. I wasn't no crash out like the rest of the people around me. So people used to think I was scary. I had self-awareness at an early age, so I would sit back and wait and plot my move, then I would strike. But back to the subject. My first time, it was crack. And when I got a taste of some money and the first pair of Jordans that I bought on my own, going to school with them motherfuckers on, you know how good I felt? Like, damn, I could take care of my motherfucking self. So after that, I'm becoming 16, 17 years old. I figure, shit, I want to have a family. I'm 17 years old in school, and I meet my daughter's mother, and she came down here from Los Angeles, California, to Monroe, Louisiana. So upon meeting her, we didn't click, right off. I too much didn't like her, and I don't think she too much fucking liked me either. I think we came together to make that child, but other than that, I still can't see the attraction to this day and what the fuck I was seeing her doing. I had a very one-track mind when it came down to certain shit that if I wanted something, I'm going straight ahead. If I really want it, I'm going to go. So I'm young thinking, okay, I'm hustling. I'm a grown-ass man in my mind. I want to have a family. Turned 18 years old. We created Sarai Robinson, my first child. I had my first child fresh out of high school. After she was born, I ended up moving back to Dallas to work with my uncle. Made some money, came back, thinking, shit, the family gonna be good. I'm about to take care of my family, whoop-de-whoop. And shit, that motherfucker left me. She took the baby and left. That fucked me. When I say that fucked me up, because I was doing everything in my power to sustain and keep what I thought was gonna be my family. Because when you come from a quote unquote, I wouldn't call it a broken home, but When I was 12 years old, I ended up moving with my grandmother because my parents had 6 children. My father had like three or four outside children, but with my mother, he had six. So it was a lot of people in the house. So he sent me to live with his mom. And even before that, I was living with, the woman who adopted my mother. And that's the neighborhood that I grew up in. I was with her a lot. So I didn't too much be around my parents that much. So early on, even at the woman who adopted my mother's house, which was Miss B, Beatrice Nelson, shit, I saw drugs then. I saw hoes then. She had a brother used to come in and out that they adopted, my mom's adopted brother. He's come in and out. He was selling drugs and he was rapping and shit. He the one made me want to, rap when I first saw him. Me and Green used to come to the house and get him and take him on concerts and shit. To concerts to perform, but he was a fucking smoker. So this nigga was so cold with the rap shit and with the beatboxing, and he was always fresh and fly, had G Nikes on and shit. When I saw him, he was the only person that I really wanted to emulate because he was so cool to me. Everything else, I didn't want to emulate. I didn't want to be like. I only started selling drugs because I knew, shit, this might be a ticket out for me. I could make some money and get to doing some other shit. And that was my plan. At 14 years old, I said, I'm going to make some money from this shit and I'm going to get myself out of here because I feel like it's not too many people around my household who get me or understand me. I was very outspoken. I was very blunt and vocal when it came to me expressing how I felt to my parents. And I always let them know, look, I don't feel like y'all taking care of me or interacting with me the way y'all supposed to. So I acted the fuck out. I let them know how I felt. And my father used to tear my ass up. And it got to the point one time where he whooped my ass so bad, I think he beat the nigga up out of me. He beat that turn up out my motherfucking ass. If I wanted to try to be on some rebellious shit with him and my mom for like 3-4 years, shit, I went on it. I was a bitch. I was getting my ass whooped when I was having fights and shit. Niggas thought I couldn't even squabble because he beat it up out of me. And I just felt bad, like, fuck. And when I got to the, like, let me see, 19th grade, I got my confidence back. That nigga beat the confidence out of my motherfucking ass. So all those years of me hustling then, I didn't want to do it, but I felt like it was a way for me to get up out this, out of my environment. I feel like if I could make enough money, I could leave and go do some other shit and become this big ass star I wanted to be. I didn't want to be a rapper, per se. When rapping came in the picture for me, it was when I was 17. I ended up moving back with my parents. I had 2 homeboys from the neighborhood that I grew up with. And I wanted to just be a CEO and let them rap. But they persuaded me, and when I got on the mic and when I heard it, we used to rap on the karaoke in the shack in my mom's backyard. Before I remodeled it, I say, damn, fuck that dope shit. This rapping shit, this shit could take me up out of it. I sound good. I fucked around and named myself Young Thug. Young True Hustler, Understanding Game. Right then and there. Like, this gonna be my name. And I'm gonna take off with this shit. So, a year later, I ended up hooking up with my cousins. I'm still hustling. Still in the streets, but we kind of bagging up. I'm like 18, 19 at the time. So it's like, I want to do this rap shit. I can do this shit. I put my heart, my soul, and everything in it. So I don't want to sell dope no more. I don't want to sell dope no more because like a year prior, I had ended up getting stabbed before that. So I'm like, this got to be my ticket about this shit. I do not want to do this any longer. So I hooked up with my cousins, Beats How You Want 'Em, Raphael Johnson, Alger Johnson, and they looked out for me. They showed me a lot of shit. They showed me the business. Rodney, from Beats How You Want 'Em. Rodney showed me about, ASCAP. He the one told me when we first got our CDs back, because we ended up getting an album press that I did. He said, Thug, get with ASCAP. I got with ASCAP. I started looking up what is ASCAP, what are, copyright shit like that. I wanted to know the business. First off, I want to know the motherfucking business, what's going on. So I I started looking up shit like ASCAP and trademarks and, what to do if someone takes something from you and so on, so on. But that's a story for another day. That'll be another video. I'm gonna come back to that shit because that's deep too. You know what I'm saying? But back to the story. Me starting to sell drugs at 14 years old as a kid, all because I wanted to get away from that, situation. And that's fucked up to where a child that young has to say, look at his environment and see like, damn, this is my only option. I wasn't good at sports and shit. I tried basketball, football, fucking baseball. None of that shit was for me. None of that shit was for me. I was looking at my situation with my parents and where we were like, man, I want to get my mom up out of here. Because I felt like my father didn't do it, and I felt like he could have. And I used to blame him a lot, but I don't blame him to this day. Because at 14, he told me, shit, look, you don't need me. When I went in that room, when I got back to my grandmother's house, I cried like a motherfucker. Because I felt like, well, damn, why my brother won't show me the game, and then he telling me I don't need him. What the fuck you expect me to do? And I dried them tears up like, you know what? I'm a motherfucking man. And I stood on manhood ever since then. But I understand why he told me that. He saw something in me then. He let me know, nigga, you a man. You don't need me to hold your hand. I have to deal with these other children. It's like I got like 9 of y'all, so shit, nigga, I'm gonna need you to help me guide them. You got it. Everything you think you don't have, you have inside of you. And he let me know, and I love him to this day for that. Because he put me on some real shit. Like, nigga, you don't need me. This world we growing up in. You see how people hate you? Look at the color of your motherfucking skin. You got 2 strikes against you already. You have to be intelligent. One thing he did do, though, I could say this. When I was 9, that nigga sat me in front of the TV and let me watch American Pimp. He let me, it came on, we had HBO at the time. This shit came on HBO, dog. And one person on there, I never forget, it was Andre Taylor. And Andre was talking about manhood, and he ended up going to jail. He was like, look, even though they put him in a certain situation, they put him in jail, like, they'll never take my manhood. And that stuck with me. I was 9, that stuck with me. So when I turned like 14, 15, I thought back to that like, damn. I remember dude said that no matter what happened, never allow anyone to take your manhood away from you. That's all you got. That's all we got as men. So at 14, to make a long story short, I don't want to hold you. I felt like I wanted to be a man. That's the point of this video. I wanted to be a man early. I wanted to take care of myself. I wanted to take care of my mother. And I wanted to take care of my family. I wanted to have my own family. Now, I did it wrong because I should have got my money first. Should have got my business right first. And then went off. But I acted out of emotion. My emotion was telling me, go ahead and get this girl pregnant, have a family, have a baby. Fuck it, you'll figure it out. No, don't do that. Get your finances in order before you have children, before you bring kids into this world. Because I was a kid out there in the motherfucking jungle, hustling. I'm talking about hard drugs, trying to figure it out, dealing with people, getting played, having to figure shit out because I'm going to people, asking them questions, and they didn't know what the fuck to tell me because I was so vocal about who I am and what I wanted, and they couldn't give it to me. I had that pride in me, like, look, this is what I need, and I let people know. So if you got kids out there that's trying to hustle, that's trying to get in this game, and you feel like they gonna go, let them go, but lace them up. Don't tell them don't do it, because if you tell them stop, don't do that shit, they gonna do what the fuck they want to do anyway. So my advice is, watch them, lace them up, tie their motherfucking shoes up. I wish I would have had somebody tie my shoes up. Now, I had a couple uncles that did, but they weren't around like that. I was really out there on my own. But it taught me a lot. It taught me some valuable lessons that I wouldn't trade nothing in this world for the things that I've learned along the way. I learned how to communicate. I learned how to talk to people. I learned how to do business. Selling that shit at a young age, it made me aware of what was around me and what was going on. And I know to this day, I knew then, ain't nothing but some motherfucking sharks out here. And when it comes to business, You have to be on it. You have to stay on it. You have to stay motherfucking ready. You know? So, really, that's all I got to say right now. And this motherfucking Diarte Comanche. And this has been my 36 ounces of the day.